Hey, welcome back to another MotusWorks Monday. Today I'm going to talk about the different models of spinner that I make. It's kind of confusing because they all end with "mathing," so that was just something that I picked up the name and ran with it. So every spinner that I've made thus far ends with "mathing." So I'll get you over to the bench, and then we'll go over them one by one, and we'll kind of do a history of and evolution of design. So, all right, let me get you over there on the bench. All right, so here we are. I've shown you this one and kind of the progression of the Minima sort of in the past, but we're going to go over it again. So this was the very first Minima, and this is one that I made solely for myself because I couldn't afford to buy a spinner that I wanted. So this is a titanium body with brass buttons, and all the edges are super pointy, and it hurts to spin, but it's okay, and I still carry this one sometimes. But this is Minima 001. And this was made with some really janky, teeny tiny machining equipment from Grizzly. It was a Grizzly lathe and mill combo that I was able to kind of get by with in the beginning. So there's that, and we're gonna step through the progression as close to chronologically as I can. This is one of the test pieces from the first production run. It's a little bit shorter than the production model, and then of course it's beat up. I put XT on it for experimental tester, and I use this to test bearings out a lot. The balance is good, fairly good, but there was a mistake, I think in the alignment of the bearing hole in relation to the bearing pocket, and that's why it ended up being a test piece. So there's a 002 somewhere. Hold on, I think I got it. Hold on. Yeah, I found it. Here's 002. And it was made on the exact same equipment as this, and in the same along the same lines, but again the alignment on the bearing hole versus the pocket wasn't correct, and it's just very rough in general. This body was milled, the bearing pocket was milled by putting it on a rotary table with a small end mill and running it across the inside, whereas this one was made with a 1-inch end mill with a plunge cut on the Bridgeport. This was a 1-inch end mill plunge cut. I think everything after this one was all plunge cut bearing pockets, and then the edges, the outside edges, are cut on the rotary table. So, yeah. Up next is of note, I did one bronze button and one blue button on the original, the first production run, which was, I think, serial number 00. It's either 3 through 22 or 4 through 22, and I believe it's 3 through 22. Let's see. So next would have been the first pre-order. The first MEGAMATHING pre-order, which would have been in 2017, and this is number 032. This is one that I pulled out because the balance wasn't correct, and again, I always had alignment issues with I was a budding machinist. I didn't know what I was doing, so I had alignment issues with the bearing hole to the bearing pocket. So one weight would be heavier than the other, and I had a lot of material losses. This one is stainless steel. Had a ton of material losses on stainless, so stainless kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. These chamfers or 45-degree chamfers, those were all hand ground. Whereas in previous iterations, like that first production run was a radius edge, and then the very first ones was a hard corner, painful hard corner. So that was my first attempt at a chamfered edge, which was not done with a chamfer tool, just done on a belt grinder with just by hand. All right. This would have been also from that first pre-order. This is a titanium. This is serial number 50. Again, same issues, just a little wobbly. So same difference along the same vein there. Same production order. You can this is the same production run. You can see here where there was a lot of inconsistency in that production run. These are bigger chamfers than this, and this is where I started learning that a bigger chamfer was a little more comfortable. So this is titanium as well, and then the chamfers kind of move along from there. Here is 97. This would have been like a following pre-order. This is a zirconium one and a little bit bigger chamfers. This would have been probably early last year, maybe spring of 2018, something like that. So I didn't sell a whole lot of these to begin with, and the popularity grew beyond my capabilities, and that's where I'm at with the CNC machine right now. Is just growing out of necessity. So you can see the chamfers getting a little bit bigger. These are also hand ground chamfers, so you can kind of see the progression there. This, let's see, yeah, this is also hand ground chamfers. This would have been done around the same time as this one. It's actually 89, so this one would have been done basically around the same time. I think where I really started doing bigger chamfers and the large 20-degree chamfers was on the turbo glow. So this is an orange turbo glow, and you can see that it's hard to tell because of the light, but you can see how large the chamfers grew to then. I forget what numbers the turbo glow was done in, but that's probably around 100 and something, 120, 130, something like that is where the serial numbers would have started for these on up through. This was a very, very large pre-order. Turbo glow was kind of a new thing. Nobody had done it in a spinner yet. I wasn't sure if it was going to work in a spinner. It was just a brittle material, and turns out it's very, very difficult to machine. Everybody asked why these were so expensive. Well, the material is not terribly expensive. It's comparable to titanium. And people say, oh, it's just plastic. It is plastic. It's an epoxy. So it is sort of a type of plastic. But it's got the glow powder embedded in it, which is very, very abrasive to tools. It makes it very difficult to machine economically. So spend a lot of money on tools on the turbo glow. Here's one of the few exotics that I have kept for myself. This one had a balance issue. This is the Big Top Mokutai. This one had a little bit of a balance issue, but it's not bad at all. There's only 2 of these in existence. The other one is owned by Ron, I forget his last name, but Ron owns this. He lives in Thailand. So, one of my favorites, and I decided to keep that one around. You can see, let's see what serial number this is. 223. So on up into the serial number range, and you can see the chamfers are quite large, and that's basically where they're at today. So these are all MEGAMATHINGs. The other model, the next model that I made was the MinimaThing, and the MinimaThing is the same dimensions in all dimensions except for length. The MinimaThing is, let's see, so on that one. The MinimaThing is 1.5 inches, where the MEGAMATHING is 2 inches. Alright, so this was the second prototype for the Minima thing, and this would have come out, I think, with the Turbo Glow around the same time as the Turbo Glow, because I have Turbo Glow minis. And then here is the first prototype. I tried some hand ground ends. I had some issues with when you spin it, you catch the corner because it is so short. Usually when you spin a Minima thing, your finger catches the edge in this manner. Alright, so if I take these buttons and put on the Mini, this is the Mini with the sharp corner. This would have been one of the prototypes. Whenever you go to spin it, your finger falls directly on that corner, which is uncomfortable. So my solution to that, or my first attempt at a solution to that, were these hand ground end chamfers, and it feels very comfortable. However, that is not cost effective for me to have to do, because doing those by hand is very, very difficult. You can tell some variation in those just by looking at this right here. So that doing that economically, and, well, as you can see, that's not balanced either. Doing that economically is not, it just is impossible to do by hand. So I started rounding the corners, and let's see, I don't have one. This is a fairly good example. This is a Turbo Glow Mini, where the corners are just very slightly, zoom in here, the corners are just very slightly radius, and that is plenty to give you some comfort when you go to spin it. So, excuse me, I've got a call. Hello? Sorry, had to take a phone call right quick. But yeah, so Mini, there's another one, Turbo Glow Mini. These are some that I dropped on the floor, so I can't sell them. So, and then these are titanium prototypes. So we got the Minima thing and the Minima thing. The next model that I would have made is the, hold on. These are works in progress, so forgive me. But this is the, let me move these over. Mini. This is the Minima thing, and again, it's a work in progress. The chamfers aren't cut yet, and the outside radius radii aren't cut either. And the Mini Minima thing, I think, Thin Minima thing? No, Mini Minima thing. Yeah. Again, I said in the beginning of the video, it's confusing, and it all kind of runs together. But this is the purpose of this video is to educate the newbies on the names. So, Minima thing, Minima thing, Minima thing, and Mini Minima thing. The only ones that have been finished in these body styles are copper, and there's just a very, very few of each size. We're talking like maybe less than 10 each. So that was next. Then I started getting, about the time these were completed, I started getting a ton of pressure from the community to offer more Minima things, and people were accusing me of sandbagging, and it was kind of some nasty comments. People acting like I wasn't making them fast enough on purpose. The truth of the matter being that everything that I've showed you so far is 100% completely handmade using manual equipment, meaning that any cut on the spinner is from a direct input from my hands. That's old school. That's old school technology. This is 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s technology. Okay? So, that it's just not true. Okay, I was making these as fast as humanly possible. And so I decided I was getting so much pressure, so much hate. So I decided to do something about it. So this January, I bought a CNC machine, and it's right behind me. You can see it in the intro to the video. And then I started making the Machinima thing. So I prototyped the Machinima thing, and this is basically what I would have made had I had CNC machine in the beginning. So I started everything with manual equipment, and then now I'm using a CNC mill only. The buttons are still on the pre-order I did. They were the backs of the buttons were machined by Nick at FTO, and then the faces of the buttons were finished by me on the manual lathe. So you can see that there are cutouts on the middle of the bar, and then there's an end chamfer plus added radius on all corners. This is very comfortable, very ergonomic as compared to the original. So there's that. I plan to do this body style. These were never really available in a tri body style until Nick offered to make some of the tries for me. And he did an excellent job, and I'll insert a picture of one of the tries. I don't have one. I haven't kept one around, so I'll insert a picture of one of the tries on the video. And then I plan to make this. I can now make tries since I have a CNC machine, so I plan to make this body style in a try in the near future after the MEGAMATHING. So this is the newest model that I've come out with, and this is the MEGAMATHING. So it is modeled after the SPINIMATHING. Modeled after the SPINIMATHING, but it is 25% larger. And this is my prototype that I've been carrying around. So it is 25% larger in all ways except for length. I decided to go with a little bit shorter. I felt like it was just a little too long in this size. So I adjusted the length. It is 2.4 inches, whereas if it were scaled perfectly, it would be 2.5 inches. So I just fiddled with the length just a tad. The buttons are 1.2 inches as opposed to 0.950 inches on the SPINIMATHING. What else can I say? She's a beast. She's a big girl. The holes in the center are, I can use those either for alignment on a second op jig, or a fixture plate, or really in reality I made huge 1/4 inch holes for lightening, just to lighten the center of the spinner to get the weight outboard. So you can see the similar holes on the Machinima thing, which in this case the holes are for the fixture plate, which is, it's nasty. Let me wipe it off. This is the fixture plate that all the Machinima things from the pre-order were machined on, and so this would be clamped into the vise, and well, it's got a bearing in it, but the pins here correspond to the 4 holes in the corners, and that holds it steady so that I can machine the backside. The first operation, it looks like this, and then so that would be held in the vise, and then I flip it over and it would go like that, and then it would come off the machine looking like this. Alright, I don't think I left anything out. I need to do, the next video I'm going to do is going to be on materials. I'm going to be doing some more mixed mascus, which is my own blend of layered materials. I'll be doing some more of that in the very, very near future, and also got some really exciting changes coming that I can't wait to tell you about. So I already got topics lined up for the next 2 videos. I just kind of have to let things develop a little bit before I can let you in on it. So I hope everyone has a great day. And oh yeah, this MEGAMATHING, the pre-order is actually open. I'm going to upload this video today. Today is the 29th of April 2019, and I'm going to upload this video today. This MEGAMATHING is available for pre-order right now through the 3rd, May 3rd, which is Friday. I'll close it down on Friday evening, and it's available in brass, bronze, stainless steel, copper, and titanium. And the buttons, all materials are available in both buttons and body, and you can mix and match to your preferred material combination. And the finishes available are all the buttons are going to be brushed finish, which this is a machine, fresh off the machine prototype finish. Brushed finish, which I don't have. I don't have a brush finish here on the table, but I've settled for a brush finish. For the, I'm looking for one. I don't have anything brush finish. Oh yeah, this is brush finish. So all the buttons will be brushed finish, and then the bodies will be available in either machine finish, which would be similar to this, which is a bright machine finish, or brushed finish. Okay. So yeah, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for watching my videos, and I hope y'all have a good day. We'll see you next time.